How's everybody doing? Chef Orlando coming at you with one of our Wally's signature pastas that we're going to be doing today. For this recipe, it's very simple. It's pretty much 4 or 5 ingredients. Most people have this at home. If not, it's very inexpensive stuff that you can get from your local store. We're going to be making the tomato basil first. What you'll need is a little bit of minced garlic, about one or 2 Roma tomatoes, fresh basil. I like to cut mine a little bit thin. It's called the chiffonade. And then minced garlic. I like to leave it a little rough, just so that you can see it, taste it. Shaved parmesan, and whatever your favorite marinara or tomato sauce is. You will need spaghetti, but you could always use angel hair pasta. Here at Wally's, we use the spaghetti noodle. And then you're gonna do your favorite salt. We do sea salt here at Wally's. And then ground black pepper and your favorite olive oil, okay? So I'm gonna walk you guys through step by step. Like I said, this is a very easy pasta that everybody can enjoy and pretty much foolproof. Anybody can cook. Alrighty guys, so you start off by turning on your fire. I like to have my skillet nice and hot, but before I start, so I'm gonna let it get a little hot for us. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of olive oil. You need about a tablespoon and a half, depending on how much you're making. Today I'm gonna be walking through a serving and a half, so maybe 2, depending on how much you like to eat. This should be enough to feed you and your better half, or you and your kid, or just maybe even have leftovers for tomorrow, okay? So once we get it nice and hot, your oil, you're gonna drop a little bit of garlic. And this again goes depending on how much garlic you like. I love garlic, so I would say a teaspoon. Teaspoon should do the trick, okay? So about a teaspoon of garlic. We're gonna go ahead and do roughly about 1 Roma tomato diced. It could be a rough chop, it could be finer if you like it. I like to do nice dime-sized pieces for it. So we're gonna go ahead and drop it in there. Gonna give it a nice little saute so we can get some of the garlic flavors into your tomato. And then we're gonna go ahead and salt and pepper. This is, again, some people like theirs a little bit more heavier on the salt. I would say about half a teaspoon, pinch. Gonna hit it right there. And then we're gonna go same with your ground black pepper, just 1-to-1 ratio. Drop it in there, nice. Once you're here, you're just gonna make sure that you mix it around, saute a little bit so that your garlic doesn't overcook. Once you get garlic too cooked, it just becomes kind of rancid, kind of sour on you. So you just gotta make sure you kind of mix it up a little bit, so that it doesn't stick on you. Once your garlic and your tomatoes start to kind of, I call it crying. They're crying. They're yelling for help. You gotta bring them down a little bit. We're gonna do your marinara sauce. It's roughly about a 1/4 cup to half a cup, depending on how well you like it, or how saucy you want it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do about half a cup since we're doing 2 servings. Now we're gonna give it a nice little saute action. If you feel like you didn't put enough salt or pepper, you could always go in and taste your product to see where you're at. And I think I'm gonna go with just a little bit more salt. So this is why it's always better to add than to subtract. Just a little bit more salt. So once I'm here, I'm almost ready to drop my pasta, just because it's already simmering on the sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop my pasta. These already have been pre-cooked and pre-portioned, so they're already al dente. So I'm only gonna drop it for 20 to 30 seconds. So like I said, I'm gonna do a portion and a half, which in Wally's terms probably serves 2 people. Then I'm just gonna drop it into my pasta broiler, which should be about 20 to 30 seconds, okay? While that's cooking and this is simmering, we got a nice little simmer going on the edges. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of fresh basil on the inside so we can start getting some of that basil flavor in our pasta. That's why we call it tomato basil. Nice little simmer. If you feel that you're not that good with your saute, you don't feel like you trust yourselves doing this, you could always grab your spoon, a wooden spoon or your metal spoon, and just kind of, you know, play around with it a little bit so that your basil gets nicely cooked, okay? You don't want to put in your basil too early, because if you do, it'll just turn black on you, start to get a little sour. So I think that the timing on your basil has to be perfect, okay? So once you're here and you're simmering, you can see the simmer on the sides, on the edges. We're gonna go ahead and pour our pasta up. We don't want it to be too soggy. I like mine al dente. So we're gonna drain the water out. Oops, a little bit too much. And again, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, or you think you're gonna make a mess all over your kitchen, you could always grab your tongs and just incorporate the sauce into your noodles. Okay, nice. Once you're here, you're ready to plate. So when I usually plate, I always grab my tongs, give it a nice twist, and then I drop the first half of it. When you do this, you'll usually end up with extra sauce on your plate, and that's why I like using my tongs, because then I can just kind of garnish, you know, as you please. And to finish it off, we always garnish with some shaved parmesan, just right over the top. Or if you like it a little extra cheesy, just go crazy on the edges. Fresh basil, just to give it some color, and your fresh minced parsley or rough chopped parsley. Then there you go, guys. That's our tomato basil. You can put this with a side salad or your favorite garlic bread, or just if you just want to have pasta, then just pasta. But there you go. That's our tomato basil here at Wally's.